Welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. So Castlevania Season 3 is the highly anticipated follow-up to the surprisingly good Castlevania Season 1 and Season 2. So how does Season 3 hold up? So let's go ahead and talk about that. Now the events of Season 3 starts right after everything that happened in Season 2. So if you haven't seen Season 2, spoiler warning, Dracula gets defeated. So now we follow the characters of Trevor, Sypha, Alucard, the two Forge Masters, Hector and Isaac, and some of the vampire clans just to see how they would live in a world without Dracula and all the things that go on with that. And so that is the general story. So getting into the things that I like about Season 3, I always enjoyed the way the main characters were written, and especially the voice actors that came with it. And in Season 3, we still have those same characters with their same personalities and the same voice actors. So that is a big thumbs up for me because they really made the series, have a lot more personality than if you didn't have that. So that is a good thing. And then the second thing is the overall animation style. This is something I really enjoyed in both Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3 has that same really great look. And so those are the main things that I like. And I'm really surprised that that's about the only thing I like because now we're going to get into the bad. For fast website hosting and top-notch service and features, check out Siteground, the preferred service news at geekoutdoors.com. For more information, check out the affiliate link in the description area below. So getting into the things that I definitely did not like about Season 3 is the story. Wow, there's so many moments where I'm like, WTF, what the hell is going on? Because in Season 3, they focus on separate stories for each character. So we have a separate story for Alucard, Trevor and Sypha, Isaac and Hector, and the vampire clan that kind of go with Hector's story. And so even though, they've done that in Season 1, Season 2, where they spend some time with these other characters, it always came back to the main story, which is basically about Dracula. Now in this one, they don't do that. It's completely separate stories and they don't really have much holding it together. There's not one central story. And honestly, most of the stories were just not good. Specifically Alucard's story. Like if you took his story out, it wouldn't affect it at all. And so that's not a good thing. And then about the only one that I would say is kind of interesting is Trevor and Sypha's story because we learn more about their relationship and also a little bit of backstory, even though they're in a town and setting that is completely boring. So and then second to that, maybe Isaac's story and Hector's story, not too great. And Alucard, just really cringeworthy. Let's just say that. And so that is the biggest problem with Castlevania Season 3. The stories just did not make sense, and it really didn't add anything at all. And there was no one central theme to the entire season. And so the second thing is, even though there's 10 episodes, which is more than Season 1, and I think it is more than Season 2 if I recall, there's less action in here, which is so surprising to me because Season 1, Season 2 had a lot of great action. And in this case, out of the 10 episodes, I would say maybe 3 episodes had action, and especially the last episode, but it wasn't enough. The most of the series, it was just so boring. Just having stories and, scenes that just didn't really add anything at all. Most of the times I was just waiting for the next scene, which is not a good thing. And Castlevania, it's known for its action, from the video games to the previous 2 seasons. And in this case, we didn't get it. And by the time we did get the action, it wasn't really that great. Let's just say that, especially if you compare it to Season 2's final battle with Dracula, which was awesome. And you really got none of that here. And then the final thing that just made Season 3 not enjoyable to me is the fact that even though you had the Castlevania characters and the world, this did not feel like a Castlevania anime or series at all. If you would have placed in different characters completely out of the Castlevania world, it wouldn't have made a difference. And that is probably one of the biggest things that I found disappointing with this because that's why you watched it in the first place. You watch it because you knew the Castlevania games. You want to see the characters and the world. And even though it's not exactly like the video games, at least in Season 1 and Season 2, it had elements of that, where it would bring those elements in. So people who love the video games, they would still get that fan service. And at the same time, the writers did different things with these characters and the world. And in this case, they did none of that. A lot of things were just throwaway, forgettable. And a lot of times I was just like, like painfully watching this, like where is the Castlevania that I enjoyed from the video game and from the first 2 seasons? It just wasn't there. And even though they tried to bring in some of those elements back, specifically with Dracula, you just did not get that at all here. It's just really confusing. I'm not sure where they were going with this. And so, as you could probably tell, season 3, at least for me, was just very disappointing. I had a lot of expectations considering how awesome season 1 and especially season 2 was. So in this case, it took a lot of what they built, a lot of the great things, and they pretty much just took it away and threw it away, I would say. And so I'm not sure how they're going to follow up season 3. I'm hoping they do get another shot, and if they do, they go back to the Castlevania story and characters that they were building in season 1 and 2. And I kind of see this as a side story, with a lot of anime. They have these side stories that really don't add anything to the main story. So maybe that's what this is. But unfortunately, there was like 10 episodes of that. And so those are my thoughts on Castlevania season 3. So at least for me, this is definitely not the best out of the entire series so far. And I'm hoping that they do better with future seasons, if there are going to be future seasons, because I really did love this series, and unfortunately season 3 did not deliver. And so if you actually had any thoughts on this, whether you liked it, didn't like it, or maybe didn't really matter to you, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And if you wanted to see more of my anime reviews, I do have a playlist. I'll leave that in the description as well. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Hey geeks, if you are a creative geek like me and you wanted to learn how to create content on YouTube and other places on the internet, then check out my Go Content Creators Group, where you get access to additional videos and content for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part of it is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Go Content Creators Group. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.